I want to ask you something personal, not about the stock market, not about interest rates, not about anything you read in a headline this week. I want to ask you about a feeling, because I've been talking to people, a lot of people, and almost everyone describes the same thing. Things look fine on paper. The job is still there. The account balance hasn't collapsed. The store shelves are stocked, but something feels off. Prices are strange. Certain conversations at work have a different tone than they did a year ago. Some people you know quietly lost jobs and nobody really talked about it. The stock market keeps going up, but somehow that doesn't feel reassuring anymore. You can't fully name what's wrong, but you feel it. That feeling is real, and today I'm going to show you exactly what is causing it. Not with fear, not with panic, with facts, and with a specific plan for what to do about it. There are 4 things happening right now in June 2026 that are quietly changing the financial reality of every single American. Most people are only aware of one of them. Almost nobody has seen all 4 together. By the end of this video, you will understand what is actually happening, and you will have 5 concrete steps you can take this week to protect yourself. Let's go. Let me start with the one that nobody wants to talk about directly. Not because it's secret, but because it's uncomfortable, and because it's happening so quietly that most people don't see it until it's already affected them. Artificial intelligence is eliminating white-collar jobs, right now, not in 5 years, today. And I want to be very precise about what I mean, because this is not the story about robots replacing factory workers that we've been hearing for 30 years. This is different. This is about lawyers who used to employ 10 junior associates, now employing 3. This is about marketing departments that had 15 people, now running with 5. This is about financial analysis, accounting, customer service, coding, writing, research, entire categories of skilled, educated, well-paid work being quietly compressed. Here are the numbers. Goldman Sachs published research estimating that AI could affect the equivalent of 300 million full-time jobs globally. In the United States alone, they identified that roughly 2/3 of current jobs are exposed to some degree of AI automation. But here's what that really means in practice. Companies are not mass firing people overnight. That would create headlines. That would create backlash. What they are doing is something much quieter. They are not replacing people who leave. Someone quits. They don't hire a replacement. AI handles the workload. The headcount shrinks by 1. Nobody gets fired. No announcement is made. The job just quietly disappears. This has been documented across industries. Technology companies that employed tens of thousands of people for work that AI can now do have reduced hiring by 40 to 60% compared to 2022 levels. Not layoffs, just no new hiring. The result is a job market that looks stable on the surface, but is actually contracting underneath. The unemployment rate stays low because people aren't technically being fired. But the competition for the jobs that do open is intensifying dramatically. And here is the part that affects you most directly, regardless of your industry. When white-collar workers lose jobs or can't find new ones, they cut spending. When they cut spending, restaurants, retail, services feel it. When services feel it, those workers get cut. And when enough of that happens, we have a recession that didn't start with a dramatic crash. It started with AI quietly making one job category after another, slightly smaller than it was before. Economic researchers have called this the consumer doom loop. The AI trade creates semiconductor winners. Everything consumer-facing sits on the other side of that equation. What does this mean for you specifically? If your job involves tasks that can be described as analyzing information, writing documents, answering questions, reviewing contracts, creating reports, managing data, you are in a category that is being restructured. This does not mean you will lose your job tomorrow. It means the value of that skill set is on a downward trajectory, and the time to prepare for that is before the restructuring reaches your specific role, not after. I will give you the specific steps at the end of this video, but hold that thought because there are 3 more things happening that intersect with this one. Let me ask you something. When you hear the word tariffs, what do you picture? Most people picture something happening between governments, trade negotiations, politicians arguing, something abstract and far away from their daily life. Here is the reality. A tariff is a tax. It is collected at the border when goods enter the United States. It is paid by the American company importing those goods, and it is passed directly to you in the form of higher prices at the store. China does not pay American tariffs. American consumers pay American tariffs. This is not a political statement. This is basic economics. It is how tariffs have always worked, and it is documented in the price data of every country that has ever imposed significant tariffs on imports. Now let me show you what this means in numbers. The tariff increases put in place in 2025 and extended into 2026 represent the largest increase in U.S. import taxes since the 1930s. On goods from China, tariffs ranging from 45% to over 100% on entire categories of products. Let me translate that into things you actually buy. Electronics, phones, laptops, tablets, televisions, a significant portion of the components in every device you own passes through Chinese manufacturing at some stage. Tariffs on those components raise production costs raise retail prices. Clothing and footwear, a category where the United States imports over 30% of its supply from China. Tariffs on apparel translate directly into higher prices at every price point from discount to mid-range retail. Furniture and home goods, another category dominated by Chinese manufacturing. A couch, a desk, a mattress. The tariffs are embedded in the price before it ever reaches the showroom. Appliances, washing machines, refrigerators, dishwashers, both the finished products and the components that go into American assembled versions are subject to tariffs. The Federal Reserve has estimated that the current tariff structure adds between 1 and 2% to overall consumer prices annually. 1 to 2% sounds small, but on a family budget of $60,000 per year, that is $600 to $1,200 every year. Automatically, without any decision you made, without any way to easily avoid it. It is a tax on existing, and here is the part that makes it worse. Tariffs tend to be sticky. They go up easily. They come down slowly. The political incentives to maintain them, protecting domestic industry, appearing tough on trade, are much stronger than the incentives to remove them. The tariffs that are in place today will very likely still be substantially in place in 5 years, meaning the price level increases we have already seen are not temporary. They are the new baseline. What does this mean practically? It means your purchasing power has been permanently reduced by a measurable amount. Every budget you made before 2025 needs to be recalculated. Every savings target based on pre-tariff prices needs to be adjusted upward. And it means the inflation number you see reported in the news understates what most American families actually experience because the tariff effect is unevenly distributed across the specific categories that working and middle-class families spend the most money on. There is a financial crisis happening right now on the other side of the world that almost nobody in America is explaining clearly, and it is going to affect your retirement account, your cost of borrowing, and the broader American economy, whether you pay attention to it or not. China's economy is in serious trouble, not the kind of trouble that gets fixed with a stimulus package, the structural kind, the slow-moving kind, the kind that takes a decade to fully play out. Let me give you the key numbers. Residential building permits in China are down approximately 70% since their peak in 2020. 70%, for context, real estate and construction represented roughly 25 to 30% of China's entire economic activity. When you remove 30% of an economy's engine, the effects spread everywhere. Construction workers, building materials, furniture, appliances, interior design, banking, insurance, an enormous web of economic activity that was connected to the property market is now contracting simultaneously. And here is the demographic piece that makes it permanent. China is losing approximately 150 million prime working age adults between now and 2032. Their population is not just aging, it is shrinking. Fewer workers means less production. Less production means less income. Less income means less spending. Less spending means less economic growth. This is not a prediction, it is already happening. Chinese net fixed investment, the measure of new economic capacity being built, went negative in the fourth quarter for the first time in the entire recorded history of that data series. Negative. China is not just growing more slowly. In key measures, it is actively shrinking. Now, why does this matter to you specifically? 3 reasons. Reason 1, deflation export. When China's economy slows dramatically, Chinese manufacturers need to sell their products somewhere. With domestic demand falling, they flood global markets with cheaper goods. This sounds good for American consumers, cheaper products, but it creates a different problem. American manufacturers cannot compete with those prices. American factory jobs that had survived previous rounds of competition come under renewed pressure, which is why the tariff response happened. Which brings us back to the previous chapter. The tariff and China stories are the same story. Reason 2, your retirement account. Many American pension funds, 401k plans, and institutional investors have exposure to Chinese markets and companies. When China's economy contracts, those assets lose value. The losses may be modest or significant depending on your specific fund, but they are real and they are already occurring. The iShares MSCI China ETF, one common measure of Chinese market performance, is down meaningfully on the year. If you have not reviewed what international exposure exists in your retirement accounts, this is the moment to do it. Reason 3, global ripple effects. China is deeply connected to every major economy in the world. When the world's second largest economy slows sharply, every country that sells to China sees reduced demand. Germany, Japan, South Korea, Australia, all major U.S. trading partners who sell heavily to China. When their economies slow, they buy less from America. When they buy less from America, American exports fall. When exports fall, American corporate revenues fall. When corporate revenues fall, American stocks come under pressure. This is not a scenario. This is the transmission mechanism of a global slowdown, and it is already beginning to transmit. Here is the thing that confuses most people when they look at their investment accounts right now. The market is near all-time highs, and yet everything I just described is happening simultaneously. AI disruption, tariff inflation, Chinese economic collapse, rising debt, consumer stress. How can the market be at record levels while all of this is going on? Let me explain it clearly, because understanding this is what separates people who make good decisions from people who get caught off guard. The stock market is not the economy. The stock market is a collection of large companies, and right now, a very small number of those companies are doing extraordinarily well. NVIDIA's market capitalization has grown to approximately $5.4 trillion. That is larger than the entire U.S. healthcare sector. One company, worth more than every hospital, every insurance company, every pharmaceutical manufacturer in the United States combined. The AI infrastructure build-out is creating enormous profits for a handful of semiconductor and technology companies, and those few companies are so large, they pull the entire index upward. Meanwhile, consumer companies, retailers, restaurants, regional banks, real estate, the parts of the economy that reflect what ordinary Americans experience every day, are telling a much more cautious story. This is called market concentration, and historically, when market gains become extremely concentrated in a very small number of stocks, it signals fragility rather than strength. The last time we saw this level of concentration was during the dot-com era. I am not saying the market is about to crash. Nobody can say that with certainty. What I am saying is this: if you look at your portfolio and see a healthy number and assume that number reflects the broader economy, you are looking at something misleading. The healthy number in your account is being carried by a handful of AI-related positions, while the broader economic reality is significantly more complicated. And at some point, those two things converge. Either the economy catches up to the market, or the market catches down to the economy. Both have happened historically. Only one of them feels good when it arrives. Okay, you have seen all four of what is happening. Now here is exactly what to do about it. 5 steps, specific, actionable, this week. Step 1, audit your job's AI exposure. Go to your job description right now. List every task you do regularly. Ask honestly, could an AI tool do this task at 80% quality? If the answer is yes for more than half your tasks, your role is being restructured over the next 3 to 5 years. The response is not panic. The response is skill development. Find the parts of your work that require human judgment, relationship, creativity, physical presence. Double down on those. Build them deliberately. The people who thrive through AI disruption are not the ones who ignore it. They are the ones who move toward the irreplaceable parts of their work before the restructuring reached them. Step 2, rebuild your budget with current prices. Take your monthly expenses from 2023, add 10 to 15% to every category that involves physical goods, groceries, clothing, electronics, household items. That is roughly what tariff and inflation effects have added. If your income has not kept pace, you now have a gap. Finding that gap on paper is far better than discovering it when a credit card balance appears. Step 3, check your retirement account's international exposure. Log into your 401k or IRA today. Look at any international funds or emerging market funds you hold. Understand what percentage is China exposed. This is not a reason to panic sell. It is a reason to know what you own. Informed decisions are always better than surprised ones. Step 4. Build a cash buffer outside your primary bank. 3 months of living expenses. In a high-yield savings account earning 4 to 5%. Not in your checking account, not in the market. Liquid, accessible, separate. This is your margin of safety. The thing that means if something disrupts your incomes, you have time to respond calmly instead of desperately. Desperate financial decisions are almost always the most expensive ones. Step 5. Reduce variable rate debt aggressively. If you carry credit card balances, high interest rate debt in an uncertain environment is the single most destructive financial position to be in. Every dollar of credit card debt at 24% interest is a guaranteed 24% annual loss. No market condition makes that acceptable. Pay it down before you invest in anything else, before you add to savings beyond your emergency fund, before almost anything else. These 5 steps will not make you immune to what is happening. Nothing makes anyone immune to economic forces, but they will put you in the category of people who have options when conditions change, rather than the category of people who are forced to react under pressure. That difference between choosing and reacting is worth more than any specific investment strategy. The feeling you have been carrying that something is off is not anxiety without cause. It is pattern recognition. Your brain has been picking up signals from prices, from conversations, from the job market, from the tone of things around you, and telling you that the environment is shifting. That signal is correct. The environment is shifting. 4 significant forces, AI, tariffs, China, market concentration, are all moving simultaneously, and they are all pointing in the same direction. Toward a period where the financial decisions you make in the next 12 to 24 months will matter more than the decisions you made in the previous 5 years of relative stability. This is not a reason for fear, it is a reason for attention, for preparation, for making the 5 moves I just described, while you still have calm conditions to make them in, because the people who come through uncertain periods well are never the ones who predicted exactly what would happen. They are the ones who built enough flexibility into their situation that when things changed, they had options. Build your options now. If this video helped you understand what you have been feeling, subscribe. Every week I explain what is actually happening in the American economy. No panic, no politics, just facts and a plan. Drop a comment. Which of these 4 things concerns you most? I read every one. See you next week.